and this is Delia again. I am reading The Awakening, and I am on chapter 13, I believe. Let me check. I'm on page 214 now, and I believe I'm on chapter 13. Yeah, I'm on chapter 13, and I'm on part... Oh, goodness, I don't know. Anyway, I'll list it, what part it is. Okay, so we're on the part where it says, I don't know when Damon started hating me, he said. It was always that way as long as I can remember. Maybe it was because my mother never really recovered from my birth. She died a few years later, and Damon loved her very much. And I always had the feeling that he blamed me. He paused and swallowed, and then later there was a girl. The one I remind you of, Elena said softly. He nodded. The one, she said more hesitantly, who gave you the ring? He glanced down at the silver ring on his finger, then met her eyes. Then slowly he drew out the ring he wore on the chain beneath his shirt and looked at it. Yes, this was her ring, he said. Without such a talisman, we die in sunlight as if in a fire. Then she was like you. She made me what I am. Haltingly, he told her about Catherine's beauty and sweetness, and about his love for her, and about Damon's. She was too gentle, filled with too much affection, he said at last painfully. She gave it to everyone, including my brother, but finally we told her she had to choose between us, and then she came to me. The memory of that night, of that sweet, terrible night, came sweeping back. She had come to him, and he had been so happy, so full of awe and joy. He tried to tell Elena about that, to find the words. All that night he had been so happy, and even the next morning when he had awakened and she was gone. He had been throned on highest bliss. It might almost have been a dream, but 2 little wounds on his neck were real. He was surprised to find that they did not hurt, but they seemed to be partially healed already. They were hidden by the high neck of his shirt. Her blood burned in his veins now, and he thought the very words made his heart race. She had given her strength to him. She had chosen him. He even had a smile for Damon when they met at the designated place that evening. Damon had been absent from the house all day, but he showed up in the meticulously landscaped garden precisely on time and stood lounging against a tree, adjusting his cuff. Catherine was late. Perhaps she is tired, Stephen suggested, watching the melon-colored sky fade into deep midnight blue. He tried to keep the shy smugness from his voice. Perhaps she needs some more rest than usual. Damon glanced at him sharply, his eyes pierced under the shock of black hair. Perhaps he said on a rising note, as if he would have said more. But then they heard a light step on the path, and Catherine appeared between the box hedges. She was wearing her white gown, and she was as beautiful as an angel. She had a smile for both of them, and Stephen returned the smile politely, speaking their secret only with his eyes, and then he waited. You asked me to make my choice, she said, looking first at him and then at his brother, and now you have come at the hour I appointed, and I will tell you what I have chosen. I'm going to stop here, and this will be the next part coming up.